Okay. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless Wonder the Man Lincoln Clay, and we are back for a long-awaited game, and that is the sequel, second installment, whatever you might want to call it, to Firewall 0 Hour. This is Firewall Ultra. This game released today from First Contact Entertainment. And right now, I'm just walking around this tutorial area, trying to get a feel for the game. And
the Gauntlet Training Course, when you're ready to test your skills against the clock and compete for leaderboard status. This will show other contractors how badass you really are.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just walking around right now. I do like that you have the freedom to move around this tutorial area. Whereas like on the previous Firewall, you just get in there and wait until you get enough people in the room and then start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a second to go change the thumbnail, because for those who are tuning in, they're going to see a thumbnail of my YouTube profile pic, and I need to change that. So I'm going to go do that here in a second. So I'll probably take me about... How's it going? It's going to take me about 5 minutes. And then I will give you my thoughts on... My initial thoughts on the resolution, the graphics, the gameplay, just based on what I'm seeing in this tutorial area. No game is perfect, so there will be a little bit of I will give construction criticism where I think it's where I feel it's needed, and hopefully that won't be perceived as like just tearing the game down just for the sake of doing it. Seems like we've entered a phase in VR where if you just give your opinion and it isn't positive, I'm almost starting to see a narrative out there where if you don't have anything nice to say about PSVR, then don't say it at all. So,
the sniper rifle range. Test and improve your long-range marksman skills.
Let's try that quick.
To operate the sniper rifle, hold the weapon in a shooting pose, use the ADS mode, then close your non-scoped eye to engage sniper mode. Squeeze the R2 button to fire the weapon.
All right, so I've definitely got something to say about holding the weapons. It's not a big deal, but I'm still gonna point it out anyway. And for the PlayStation VR protectors, police, please don't take this as me trashing the game. Okay, folks, give me a second. I'm going to go change the thumbnail. I'll be right back. Be about 5 minutes. Okay, we are back. And okay, so as we walk around this tutorial area, I will give you my first impressions of the graphics, the resolution. Um, okay, let's. Oh, I thought I just saw some pop in there, or did I? Yeah, there was some pop in. You look up at that guardrail as I walk closer. Yeah, you see the pop in. Okay. All right, PSVR protectors, don't shoot me for pointing out the pop in. All right. Um. So let's start with the resolution. Sharpness. I think it is a. I think it is a fairly sharp picture. Um. You know, maybe a case can be made that the picture is sharper than Pavlov on PSVR 2. Wait a minute. I thought I just saw something there. Yeah. You see here. Yep. That panel got darker when it popped in when I got closer to it. Okay. Another thing that I find odd is that, you know, there's like a slight there's a slight fog in here, slightly like a slight haze in here. And I've noticed that with a few PSVR 2 games. You know, the Switchback was one of them, with the fog and haze. Graphics. The graphics are pretty good on, you know, on now I'm trying to say this constructively. The graphics, to me, they don't exactly look like a generational leap from the original Firewall, and that is because the graphics on the original Firewall were pretty good. So, but on the flip side of that, I think the graphics definitely look more photorealistic than Pavlov. That being said, this is definitely, as far as first-person shooter games goes, this is definitely one of the better-looking first-person shooter games. And a case could be made that this might be the best-looking first-person shooter game that I've seen on any platform. All right. The guns sound good. Now the scopes. So if you look at the scope like that, it's hard to find your target. So they have a ADS feature, which stands for aim down sights. So you hold the gun like you would in a normal position, and then you squeeze the left trigger just like you would a flat screen game to make the scope zoom in. But what it does is bring the game closer. It brings the scope closer to your face. But sometimes it can be out of position depending on where your hands are when you do it. So like if I bring my hands down here and I squeeze that trigger, let's try this again. This'll make it zoom in for a more accurate shot. Now, even though I'm looking straight ahead, my lead hand is damn near above my forehead. Even though it looked like I was looking down at an angle. I don't think it's a bad feature. I don't know how much I'll use it, but it does help you get a more accurate shot. So basically, pull that left trigger, zoom in, put the reticle on whatever it is you're shooting at to get a more accurate shot. One thing that I noticed is it doesn't seem like you can drop your weapons. Games like Pavlov, Contractors, Onward, you can drop your weapons. You can lay that weapon on the ground. In fact, the 3 games that I just mentioned.
How's it going at Lincoln Clay VR?
How's it going? I'm doing pretty good. In fact, games like Pavlov, Contractors, and Onward. If one of your teammates doesn't have a weapon, you can give them a weapon. Like for instance, especially like Onward. Let's say
Hammond Lincoln.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Unfortunately, it doesn't run off the names of anybody making comments because I'm streaming directly from the PS5. That is one area where I will criticize Sony all day. They need to get that shit together as far as the integration of streaming from the PS5 and being able to use your camera.
I forgot it doesn't say the name.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if at least the chat window worked. And if Sony can't give us the camera like they originally promised, at least give us
waiting more for Crossfire, Sierra Squad Artful said.
I'm a little bit apprehensive about Crossfire, but I'll get to that in a minute. But they could at least give us the chat window back. So as I was saying about the other shooters, let's say one of your teammates are down and you revived them and they get up without any weapons, you can give them one of your weapons. You can just hand it to them.
Yeah, the PSVR 2 live streaming hath. Won't say the rest.
Mm-hmm. So Sony really needs to fix that shit. Because the bottom line is there's a compromise no matter which way you go. If I stream directly from the PS5, all I got is the speech chat and it doesn't say the name of the person that's making the comment. The other route that I can go is I can run the PS5 through my capture card into the PC, but the advantages of that is that I can use my camera and I can also use speech chat and the Google speech chat, and it will name off the person that's making the comment. The trade-off is if you're playing a multiplayer game that requires some sort of party chat or voice chat, your teammates won't be able to hear you because I'm using the output from the PC rather than the PS5. So Sony really needs to streamline that shit and make it easier for people to stream from the PS5 and not have to use external hardware for it. So aha, I see some of the compromises. Now look, nobody take this the wrong way. Again, the PSVR police, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not tearing the game down. I'm just being observant. I've said this before, that...
So should I pick up or wait for Crossfire Sierra Squad?
When it comes to first-person shooter games, I like multiplayer. I like the thought of going up against live people so I can put my skills to the test against real people. So I may not be the person to ask, because if you want my opinion, I'll tell you to get this game over Crossfire because it's a multiplayer game and I want to play. It's too soon for me to tell you whether I recommend this over Pavlov because I'm only in the tutorial stage right now. So all I'm doing right now is telling you what I'm finding in the tutorial area.
Teammates can hear you via capture card using PSVR 2 mic.
Mm-hmm.
Just need a separate mic for the stream is all.
Well, I'm a little bit lost on that because, yeah, I'm using the PSVR.
Hooked.
Okay.
I can't wait to try this when I get home.
One thing that I think I already mentioned that you can't drop your weapon. You can swap out weapons, but you can't drop it. So let's go over here to the table, which you can run in this one. So I'm glad they added that. So I come to this table, right? I want that. Let's say I want this gun right here. I cannot drop this gun. I have to, I have to look at this. Where are we at? Okay, let's go in here, because this is the gun locker right here.
I'm going to grab some food.
All right.
We'll be on in a bit.
Okay, cool. So you come into this locker, and you can't just grab something off the wall. What you have to do is, like, I'm holding this rifle right here. Look at one of these guns on the rack, and you have to squeeze the L1 button, which is, well, you got to look at it. You got to get in position to trigger it. Right there. Squeeze the L1.
To operate the assault rifle, bring the weapon up to a shooting position and engage the ADS mode.
And it's swapped
the
right.
sights will line up with the target you're looking at. Squeeze the R2 button to fire the weapon.
And it's swapped in your hand. That's something I'm not a big fan of. And the other thing, like games like Pavlov, you have your main weapon and you have a sidearm. With Pavlov, you can keep the sidearm on your hip.
I like Pavlov mechanics better as far as gun grabbing.
Yes. So yes, I am going to say that right now. The mechanics are better on Pavlov because it's manual. So here's what's really cool about Pavlov, right? I got a sidearm on my hip. I got my main weapon. I can choose to put it right here on my chest, or I can put it behind me. And if I walk and I see another weapon on the ground, I can still pick that weapon up. So in Pavlov, you can carry 3 weapons at once. With this game, what I'm seeing so far in this tutorial, I'm not a big fan. Like, if I want to swap weapons, I have to walk up here and then squeeze L1.
Operate the assault rifle. Bring the weapon up to a shooting position and engage the ADS mode. The sights will line up with the target you're looking at. Squeeze the R2 button to fire the weapon.
So, let's see here. This part right here, this is fine. But when you want to use the ADS, the zoom down your sights, again, you squeeze the trigger and it'll bring it in. And sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. But I will say that it's accurate. You put the dot on whatever target you're looking for, and you'll hit it. Now, this truck that I'm looking at right here, I would say this truck is one of the things that make these graphics really, really good. Because, I mean, this pretty damn near looks like a real truck sitting in front of me. At least the glass inside the pickup looks convincing. Now right here, the dashboard, I can see where they didn't put any details in that dashboard. And I know why that is. There's only so much power.
The CCTV system is essential to your team's success. Get used to switching cameras and calling out enemy locations to your teammates.
See this?
Flip left or right to scan through the cameras. Spotting an enemy will briefly show their position to your squad. Call out what you see to your teammates. Communication is key.
Okay. All right. I was saying that I said it before and I'll say it again, that I think that the PS5 in some cases is underpowered for VR, and I think these devs only have so much to work with, so they got to decide where they're going to allocate the graphical power of this PS5. So going back to this truck, for instance, and this is as close as it'll let me walk to this truck, and seeing if I try to lean forward and stick my head inside the truck, it actually pushed the truck over. But yeah, looking at that dashboard right there, yeah, there's like, it's not very detailed. It looks like a lot of assets are not there. But I get it. That's something I wouldn't complain about because, nobody's going to be looking inside this truck, so no sense in allocating a lot of resources to make that dashboard look decent, to make it look detailed. But the rest of this tutorial area looks pretty good. So let me, another thing that I'm not a big fan of is throwables. Walk up to it, hold L1
To throw a grenade,
to put the grenade in my
go
hand.
back and hold the R2 button to prepare it. Look where you want it to go and release the R2 button.
Alright, squeeze the R2 button and it'll create an arc to where you want to throw it. And then right there, I got a tracking issue right there. I'm trying to get it to, the shit is stuck in the ceiling. There we go. Oh yeah, the tracking is going off. I get it. It's not the tracking, it's where I'm looking at. Some of it. Okay, that's the eye tracking. And it's not very stable either. That part I'm not a fan of. I would prefer to manually throw it, just like on Pavlov. With Pavlov, you see a grenade, you physically grab the grenade, and you use your offhand to pull the key out, to pull the pin out, and then physically throw it. In this case, you pull the right trigger to create the arc, and then you look to where you want to throw it. And as I'm saying, even though I'm looking around to where I want to throw it, this arc isn't very steady. It's jumping around all over the place. And it's not accurately following my eyes. I'm looking straight ahead, but yet the arc is like damn near to the ceiling. I'm looking over to the right, but the arc is looking way over here to my right. Oh. Well, so, and then other things, is like doors. This part isn't that big a deal to me, but you walk up the doors, and you can't physically open it. Once again, you got to look at the icon and squeeze the trigger. Whereas thing like Pavlov, for instance, or or other games where there's doors involved, you can physically pull the door closed. You can physically grab it by the knob and pull it closed. So it looks like to switch to your handgun, you hit the Y button, look at the weapon you want to switch to, and then release the Y button. It'll swap to that weapon. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. So I'm assuming this was ammo. Well, let's have a look at the flash grenades.
Flashbang. Close your eyes.
Holy shit. Now that part was pretty cool right there. Everything went white. And then the shit had a weird kaleidoscope psychedelic, look to it before everything got clear again. Let's see it again. And so it looks like anything you want to use, you have to reach at it and then hit the L1.
To fire the pistol, bring it up to a shooting position and engage the ADS mode. The sights will line up with the target you're looking at. Squeeze the R2 button to fire the weapon.
So that's cool right there, but again, once you hit that ADS mode where you squeeze the trigger to bring it in closer, the shit can get... Then the tracking can get a little bit funny. I mean, the position of the gun closer to my face doesn't exactly line up with the way I'm holding my hands in real life. This eagle eye part is definitely something that I'm going to have to learn to use to help teammates. Now let's see the deployables. Oh, you got knives. So okay, press O to toggle between your primary weapon and combat knife. Okay, that's the toggle on the light. You hit the square. Press. Oh no, I don't know if I like that either. So it's telling you to press R2. You pull the trigger to stab, and it'll stab itself, but I don't like. So my question is when I'm playing the game, if I make the physical motion of stabbing somebody, will it work, or do I have to press R2 in order to stab someone? And then press R1 to rotate the positioning. And so right here, you see a quick stab like that. That's when you pull the trigger. And then this is me doing the actual motion in real life. So it doesn't say anything about being able to throw a knife.
To place a motion sensor, pull and hold the R2 button, and a green outline will tell you where it can be set. Release the R2 button to place it. To place a motion sensor, pull and hold the R2 button, and a green outline will tell you where it can be set. Release the R2 button to place it. The equipment area.
That's not working.
With various types of equipment and traps in a contained environment.
Oh, there it is. It goes in as part of the inventory.
To place a motion sensor, pull and hold the R2 button, and a green outline will tell you where it can be set. Release the R2 button to place it.
All right. All right. There's that. What is this?
To plant the concussion mine, pull and hold the R2 button. A green outline indicates where it can be placed.
All right.
Release the R2 button to place it. Don't worry, it can't be triggered by friendlies.
As being this is a concussion mine, it'll probably stun someone but not kill them.
To use the door blocker, press and hold the R2 button to position it. Then release the R2 button to place it on the door.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, what do we got here?
To plant C4, hold the R2 button to position it. Let go of the R2 button to place it. Stand back and pull the R2 button again to detonate.
Hello, waving hand.
Yeah, how's it going? Okay, I like that. But I believe that was in the previous game. What do we got here?
To plant a mine, pull and hold the R2 button. A green outline will indicate where it can be placed. Release the R2 button to plant it. Don't worry, it can't be triggered by friendlies.
Oi, oi, oi.
All right. So I'm guessing.
Going Lincoln oncoming fist.
How's it going? I'm doing all right.
Shame about the game.
Well, I'm just walking around in the tutorial area right now, and just learning.
Multiplayer is broken. Set time to play. What's good, Link?
How's it going? Like, the one thing that I'm not caring for right now, and that was with the throwables. How's it going? The throwables, like the grenades, that was one of the things that I had an issue with. I'll go back and show it to you guys again. So I'll come and grab a grenade. And you can't pick a grenade up off any of these things. You can't just physically pick them up. You have to reach for it and then squeeze the L1.
To throw a sticky
and then it'll
grenade,
come up in your
pull
hand.
back and hold the R2 button to prepare it. Look where you want it to go and release the R2 button.
Okay, so in order to throw it, you can't physically throw it. You squeeze the trigger, and it'll create an arc of where it's going to land. And then this is where the eye tracking comes in. You look to where you want to throw it. And that arc is like all over the place. Look how that arc is just jumping around. So I don't think
Free grenade launcher.
Yeah, I don't think the eye tracking is accurate to where I'm looking. So if I look slightly to the right, it's looking more to the right than where I'm actually trying to look.
Did you recalibrate your eye tracking? It was much better for me after Thar, but still not perfect.
I guess I'll go through that motion and recalibrate it, but myself, I'm not a fan of it to begin with. I'd rather just physically throw them like on the other games, Pavlov, Contractors, and Onward. All three of those games, when you get a grenade, you take your offhand and you pull the trigger out, and then you throw it. Yeah, and it's like this game makes it just like you said. It makes it a grenade launcher. So, not a big fan of that.
Should be an option for sure.
Yeah. Also, let me grab a gun. You cannot physically reload. When you want to reload, it'll do an animation of a reload. So let's do this one right here. So you can't grip it with your offhand. You shoot. And then when you want to reload, you hit the X button. And it does a physical animation of the reload for you instead of doing it like you do on Pavlov. With Pavlov, you physically do it. With Pavlov, you would physically take that clip out, reach on your hip, pop another one in, and then that slide, you would physically pull it back. Rather than say I'm not a fan of the automatic reload, it's an automatic reload, but
worth the money.
I don't want to answer that yet because I'm still in tutorial. The only thing I can tell you right now is that I'm not a fan that you can't grab a lot of this stuff. If there's something you want, you have to reach at the icon and then squeeze the L1 button, the grip button, and it'll instantly swap that for you. So I'll go back and show you guys again. I'll come over here to the grenade table. See that grenade right there? I want that grenade. I can't just reach over there and physically grab the grenade. What I have to do is reach for it, and it brings up that L1 icon, and then I squeeze the L1 icon, and then watch how the grenade switches up in my hand.
To throw a sticky grenade, pull back and hold the R2 button to prepare it. Look where you want it to go, and release the R2 button.
Not a fan of that. Pavlov. So let me switch weapons. Okay, so like Pavlov, your grenades are right here on your chest. And with Pavlov, you need two hands to throw the grenades. So with Pavlov, if you want to throw a grenade, you have to put your weapon away. So you can either put your weapon right here on your chest, or you can holster it behind your back. And so in my case, once I holster the weapon, I would take the grenade off with the right hand, and then I would use the left hand to pull the pin, and then I would physically throw it. With this game, you do not physically throw the grenades. you pull the right trigger again to look to where you want to throw it. And then the eye tracking kicks in and you look to where you want it to go. So I'm going to pull the right trigger. Now, you see it jumping around like that? That arc? That's supposed to be the eye tracking, but it's horrible. It's not really following my eyes accurately. And the higher that I look up, the more that arc jumps around and it's unsteady. If they're going to do something like this, I would rather turn the eye tracking off and just use the thumbstick to aim where I want to throw it at, instead of trying to look around with this arc jumping all over the place trying to follow my eyes.
I expect this game will be focusing towards the original Firewall fans with the aim controller.
I think they, like me, in my honest opinion, I feel like they simplified this game for the casuals. I feel like they played it safe with this game. So the next thing I want to take a look at is, like, once I play, I want to see what the
casuals face with tears of joy.
I would rather physically engage everything.
It's almost like they made it more like a flat game.
Yeah. And then, like I said, let me go into this room again, this gun locker. So this is the gun locker right here, and you know,
Sorry for that. Didn't know it would read that.
No, that's fine. So in Pavlov or any other game, you would be able to push this door open, you would be able to twist the knob and open it. In this case, you have to look at it. Let me back away from it.
Yeah, manual reload is coming elite mode in a few months apparently.
Yeah, I hear that, but why couldn't they have done that from the start? I mean, I thought that was the whole purpose of even having these controllers like this, so people can do manual reloads. I mean, hell, we could do it on the original PSVR with
How do the gun mechanics feel?
Well, so this part of it, I got the gun right here. Here's my offhand. You use the grip button to hold it, and this part feels okay. And just like any other first-person shooter game,
The player base will be really small at first, so they probably want to grow it first rather than split the noobs straight away would be.
I can agree. I like.
They say it's coming, but yay, not to have at launch makes no sense with the new controls.
No! It doesn't make any sense. Honestly, I think that's why they did not give out any keys. Because the stuff that I'm showing you guys right here, I think what they did not want is what I'm doing. And that's comparing the gameplay and the mechanics to Pavlov. So right here, this is where you get ammunition. If you want more ammunition. I can't reach down there and get it, so I just have to look at it and hit the L1 button, and you just hear the click.
I'm just wondering if the I can say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Okay, so let me shoot here. Let me use a clip. Hit the X button. You hit the X button. It's an auto reload, but it looks. You see the animation of your character physically unload. I should have turned my camera on so you guys can see this shit. So I actually got my left hand on my hip and it's not doing anything. Here's my right hand. I'm going to hit the X button to reload, And it showed you guys the animation of me reloading, but my
This would
left
work
hand...
well for Call of Duty VR, but seems too simplified for a slow-paced tactical shooter.
I would agree with that because definitely a Call of Duty would be aimed at the casuals. And the way Activision has operated over the years, they've implemented a pay-to-win what's the word? They've implemented a pay-to-win monetization scheme.
A lot of these developers will release an unfinished game, have the whole community basically do bug testing, and then they fix.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm just like... Now this part right here, you bring up the screen, you bring up the weapon wheel, and you look to what weapon you want to use. You look at it, and then release the Y button. It'll switch to that weapon. That, to me, that's them simplifying the shit for casuals, because games like Pavlov, all this shit is on your body. So you physically reach for whatever it is you want. Your grenades right here would be on your chest. You physically pull it off of your vest. You physically pull the pin out. You physically throw it. You would have a sidearm right here. If you wanted to use that sidearm, you would have to physically holster your primary weapon and then reach and grab your sidearm. What other things? Like it said,
Same with the Star Wars game. You actually have to use your hands to grab and do things.
Mm-hmm. And then, now, we'll have to wait and see what happens when I get into a real game. But like with Pavlov, you know, when somebody's dead, all their weapons and stuff are laying on the ground, and you can pick up their weapons. You can pick up their weapons, their grenades, all that shit. Let's see if you can do that, you know. So I think it's time to go ahead and at least, you know, try a mission against AI.
How is the game looking compared to Pavlov? Pavlov felt a little bit blurry to me. I think they just wanted to implement eye tracking wherever possible. I think they really underestimated how much the people who played Firewall 0 Hour have gotten used to manual reload and other manual feed you. And I'm not giving excuses, but Pavlov is Unreal 4 and that engine has been used quite a bit. These guys are using Unreal 5 and it's fairly...
Well, this is where right now, I think the graphics are better than Pavlov. It has photorealistic graphics. This is one of the better looking games that I've seen in terms of the graphics. Not gonna lie. The sharpness. I think the picture is a little bit sharper than Pavlov. Now, there is reprojection. But I don't find it to be off-putting the way it is like on GT7. Because like the reprojection on GT7, I find it distracting because everything has a ghost trail to it. Like with this game here, especially if you have the turning radius turned all the way up where you can turn
your headset at max brightness.
No, because like I'm not gonna lie, and this is where I'm being critical. And some, you know, in the police in the PSVR police might get a little bit butthurt from what I'm about to say. Hold on. But the first time I ever put my PSVR 2 headset on, the first game that I took a look at was GT7. And I'm not gonna lie, when I put that headset on, I said, what the fuck is this blurry shit? And for the next couple of days, the internet and Twitter was just flooded with people talking about how blurry the headset was. So now people have to come out with all these videos of how to reduce blur, how to do this, how to do that. You know, people coming out with videos telling you to make sure your lenses are clean, make sure your shit is calibrated, yada, yada, yada. And the most effective method for reducing the blur was turning down the brightness. If you turned up the brightness all the way up, it made GT7 blurry and the colors bleeded over each other. The colors did not remain separate. They bleeded over each other. So when I turned the brightness down, because I think I got my brightness turned down on both of my PS5s to like 30%. So I will say that the picture on here is sharp. Is it sharp like my 40, like my
Appreciate your insights.
Yeah, no problem. Now the picture is sharp. So I will say this. You know, because in terms of the graphics, in terms of the sharpness, this is the best looking game on PSVR 2. Hands down. And you can make the case that it's definitely one of the better looking VR first person shooters across all formats. The graphics are good. Ain't no question about that. Looking at the overall scope, but there are some areas where you can walk up and see where they left out things they didn't put in details that were important. So, like for instance, let me see here. Something like this server. And right there, that number's not even moving. So it's almost like it's just like a still photo. But I get it, because why waste resources on trying to make this, you know, to be extra detailed about something like this? So I get it. I said it before and I'll say it again, that the PS5 only has so much resources. And it looks to me like most of the resources on this game was spent on the resolution and the graphics, because it is a clear picture and the graphics are good. Not gonna lie about that. So I don't like walking up to this door, having to wait to see this L1 icon, squeeze the trigger, and then the door just pops open for you magically.
To throw the instant smoke, pull back and hold the R2 button. Look where you want to throw and release the R2 button.
And once again, so I'm looking around.
The engine itself needs to be optimized more. That's an unreal task.
And so to use this, you got to reach. And then the other thing is, once you come up to something, there's almost like there's an invisible barrier to it. Okay, so like I'm walking up to this crate right here. If I bend down to try to get a close up of that, look closely at that gun, it's going to push the entire wall away, like there's an invisible wall in between me. So watch, I'm going to, right there, you can see it moving forward. That's not a big deal to me, but
To fire the SMG, bring it up to a shooting position and engage the ADS mode. The sights will line up with the target you're looking at. Squeeze the R2 button to fire the weapon.
so I want a manual reload. That's for certain. The other thing that I would like the ability to have, like to drop your weapons like on Pavlov. Let's say you got a gun, right? The gun's out of ammo, and you don't have any more ammo. Well, now you're just carrying an empty gun. With Pavlov, you could just throw that gun on the ground, and then if there happened to be a dead body next to you, and those weapons are still laying on the ground, you can pick that weapon up. So let's go into like a training mission. Oh yeah, I already like and I think I talked about the knife. So we'll do a gauntlet run here in a second. Oops. So yeah, I don't mean to take a shot at First Contact Entertainment, and I don't think it was their decision. I guess nobody got keys for this game. Gamertag had posted on Twitter that he had been requesting a key and he didn't get one, and they told him don't take it. You know, I'm speaking in a pronoun form, but they basically told him don't take it personal. Nobody's getting a key. And there were some people who had raised concern that, you know, we hadn't seen gameplay and nobody got a key. And this could be why. For the hardcore people that like play Pavlov, they're going to find Pavlov to be more interactive than this game. So let's go over here to the knife. Now, so you reach at the knife, squeeze the L1. Here's my right hand. And now you got a knife in your hand. Now, I do like that you can, you squeeze the R1 button to change the position of the knife. Now, something I'm sure that I like is, I think it's unnecessary. I don't know why they did it, but like right here, I am physically making a stabbing motion. But now I hold my hand still, and I squeeze the right trigger, and it makes a quick jab. I don't know why that needs to be there. So what I'm scared of is that I go play a game and I make a physical stabbing motion and it doesn't work, so I have to pull the trigger to actually, you know, make a stab that works. So that is something I am concerned about. I do like the eagle eye where you can work the cameras.
Flip left or right to scan through the cameras. Spotting an enemy will briefly show their position to your squad. Call out what you see to your teammates. Communication is key.
This part is cool, but I think this part, I don't know, like, what I'm hoping for is when I get into a real game. I'm not hoping this is a situation where people that are dead can access the cameras and tell the people who are still alive where the enemies are. Because if that's the case, that's going to be a huge miss. But you see my character over there, disengaged in the computer. So if the computer's there and you have to physically walk over and use it and then communicate to your teammates, then yeah, that's fine. And then you hit the O button to come out of it. And then I'm still holding this grenade, so if I want to switch back to my weapon, I have to press the triangle button, look to weapon you want. and then it'll switch. Alright, let's see what this gauntlet is about. Well, first, let's see what this weapon is. Oh, it's just the same weapon that I had all along.
Go, go, go! That's a civilian.
Oh, shit.
Snowflake. Flashbang. Close your eyes.
Oh, fuck! I got hit after he told... Oh, my God.
Feel free to explore and practice more in the training area. Or you can go back to the safe house at any time.
Alright. Well, let's go see if we can find a match. So this is my first time seeing this area. I don't know why now this part all of a sudden now everything looks sharp. Now everything is looking soft. When I was in that when I was in that firing range, the picture was sharp. Now it's not. Now it's not as sharp as it was. Inside this room, the picture is not sharp like it was in the other room. So yeah, we got soft edges in here. A weapons bench. Bathroom. I don't know why. I'm actually feeling a little bit sick too. I should be used to this by now. So it looks to me like what is this? Okay, so this looks like this is where you go to do your loadout. your secondary skill and all that stuff. I'm not even going to dig into that. Let's see what this Black Road is all about. I still don't like having to reach at everything and then pull at L1. Okay, so where do I go to actually play the game now? Okay. So here we go. Safe house. Let's go ahead and try the there's the co-op. Let's try the 4v4. So I'm guessing that's the enemy over there in their lobby.
Yeah, they're those red ugly things.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
how many are over there?
I only see one.
Yeah.
I think they just left. It was full right now and the game was about to start.
The server's been acting kind of funny.
Yeah, so I've heard. So
We
does
just had a
this
successful match just now, and
So-
I stayed in the lobby.
Oh, you've been having that much of a problem that you've been having to hang around just to get one match?
Oh,
I'm just trying to do whatever I can.
Are we with people? We're with people. I can hear voices.
Yep.
Yep, there's voices.
Wait a minute, I thought
It's
this
in your head.
What? Why are we
Right,
all
we're-
in the same?
Right now we're just missing one person.
I thought this was supposed to be a 4-on-4. How come this
The server's fucking up.
What?
Yeah.
What is this?
It's the server,
The server's
man.
fucked.
It's totally
Seven
fucked.
people on
we
the same
see all of
team. What
you?
is this?
So yeah, that's what I'm
I'm
saying. This
I'm on this side all alone.
Why are there
Yeah.
7 people
Look
on
at
the
this
same
guy
team?
over here. Look at this guy.
Hey, fuck you guys.
He's all the way over there. He's just stuck
Hi. How are you?
How is it you're stuck over there?
so
by
this
yourself?
this isn't an open lobby. You saying that this shit is fucked up and there's not supposed to be 8 of us, 7 of us in here.
No,
This shit's
everyone's
fucked
gonna
up.
be
Not
able to
supposed to
got
be
into
7
a
of us on the
successful
same
game.
team.
So now it's giving me a plan.
Well, I got off to eat before Wolf rolled.
Oh,
If there are 9 players in a fucking game, this is not gonna work.
No,
What
there's
the
not.
fuck?
There's 8.
It might.
There's
I
only
did this last game and it
six.
ended
Oh
up
my-
about.
oh my
There's 8
God.
people in the lobby, guys.
There's someone over my side as well.
Yeah, and there's 6 of us over here.
Oh, okay,
that's so
okay,
funny.
fine.
Why are there
Oh,
7
mate,
people
so
on one
fucked.
team and one on the other? Oh,
It might work itself out. It did last game. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it did.
If not, I'll quit
that'd be
soon.
really funny if it didn't and it was a 7v1. the
I
entire
mean,
match.
it's living up to the Firewall reputation of being an absolute fuck up, but still being a fun game to play.
Yeah.
So, I mean-
let's find out.
The Firewall charm. If we're
Yeah,
lucky, the match should be starting now.
wow.
Should be.
at least
Should, you
it
know,
doesn't
people are-
fucking end when one of us quits.
So whenever this game start, will it like randomly split us up into teams or?
Yeah.
It should.
I'm
if
hoping it
does
puts
ever
you with-
start.
Yeah.
If the game
that-
starts, yeah.
I feel bad for that one guy on the enemy team who just has no idea what we're talking about because he can't hear us.
Oh yeah, he can't hear us, but yeah, all the rest can. That's really weird.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
weird.
all 7 of us can communicate, but that one guy can't.
1, 2, 3, 4,
You
5.
must be really confused.
So technically, there should be 4 of us over here and 4 of them over there.
Yeah, there should be 4
got
people
it.
on
That's
the
how it
other
would
side,
work,
4
yeah.
people on this side.
If the
The
server
game
weren't
didn't
broken.
do that. So
I think
Yeah,
there's 7 of us
apparently
on one side.
bugging
Wait a minute.
because
Apparently
it's
put a tweet
zero.
out.
So does
They
this
put a
game
tweet out.
does this game have dedicated servers?
Who's on my team?
He
This is
did
Phil.
not get to finish answering. Hey, the teams are proper.
There you go. There you go. At least we got it.
yeah.
Oh, Maud, you're still there, mate. I missed you.
I
Missed
am
you.
still here.
Oh, hold
Now,
on.
do your darling and get me to the
Darling, it's
firewall at one
office.
of the
Oh,
access
yeah.
points. Then find that laptop and don't
There you
damage
go.
the
I
tap.
got it.
In, out, back
Yay.
home for supper.
What's with the British accents? Get you
British
back
people
home for
evil.
supper.
And you guys look like you're sliding along the floor.
Access point coordinates are up. Time to get moving.
Time to get moving.
The hell is this thing?
Right. Firewall is down. I need whatever is on
that's
that
a
laptop.
mining rig. You get
Find it
crypto
and start
from
the hack.
that.
Oh, really?
What's a mining rig?
Crypto. Yeah, right there.
Where do they look like,
I see
brother?
people. They're over here.
This here is a mining rig.
Yeah, the big thing with the gold coming out of it's a mining rig.
There's people over there.
You've got torches, turn them off, don't let them spot you. People on the right hand side in the light area.
God, yeah, you could literally just fucking hide in the dark, couldn't you?
Check your left where the laptop is.
Woo! There you go.
Does not look like there's anyone in the laptop room.
Ooh. Rick, shut it off.
Pushing towards you
Let's
guys.
activate that laptop,
Nobody
shall
in the
we?
laptop
Hiding.
room.
Oh, I see crypto.
And I'm in.
Thank you.
Good. Seems like there's some people looking for you. They're not friendly.
They're not friendly.
Data transfer is at 25%. Hostile retired. 3 remaining.
Courageous tea. Darling, did you just... Oh,
Looking good.
No, if you look at it
The
properly.
download stopped. Head
Yeah,
over there
you
and
got
check
somebody.
if it's not too much bother.
why
How,
did it stop?
how did the download stop?
To that door.
Oh, you gotta
What's
stay.
that door? No,
Yeah, I got the
no,
door.
It's not. It's the enemies in the area.
Right. Transfer is at 75%. Data transfer complete. Job well done.
Good game.
I had my doubts, but we pulled that out of the fire. I'll check through what we have and send through the payments right away.
Fire.
I got an achievement because I didn't.
What did you get an achievement for?
For not shooting.
How's the blood and gore on here?
It's not really gory, to be fair.
Yeah, I didn't really notice.
Never has been.
Heads up. Secure a perimeter.
But you get an achievement for not shooting anyone in the whole match.
I mean, what's the point of using knives? Is there going to be no blood and gore?
Yeah, I think you get like a little, little tiny squirt. That's it, like a little squirter. She ain't a gusher though. So wait, you can win the whole match without shooting. Is that what you're trying to say? And you get a
Like-
trophy.
Like
Well,
Pavlov,
I
for
got
instance,
a-
you
I
shoot.
got a
Shoot
trophy
anybody.
for planting the laptop and not.
Don't come and
Enemies
sit in my
searching for the
corner.
access
Go away.
point. Head them off
I'm not
and
hiding in the
eliminate the
dark.
threat.
Oh damn.
They don't see me.
And I almost
That's
got
the trophy.
Oh shit!
Someone to my right.
Enemy team eliminated. That's called an ace. Nice work.
Oh, I didn't even get to
Transferring
shoot
your
anyone.
now.
I killed two of them.
I didn't get a bugger all.
Just firing mine up to do the tutorial. Should be ready to squad up in 20 minutes.
Ham, I'm going to be in this stream shortly, and I'm going to be in touch with you. And it looks like I'm stuck in this room.
No, it'll take you back to the lobby.
Okay. And I'm stuck halfway in the floor.
Yeah, it does that sometimes. It's fine for me right now.
So what was that trophy you got? Because I'm a dirty little trophy horse, so now I need to start with the trophy. Initiate a laptop hack in a public match in every map. Okay, so get at least 1 kill.
Oh, they still need another person.
Oh, there you go. Initiate the laptop hack and win the round without firing a shot in a public contract.
I can see it. When you guys move, I can see the reprojection. Not like a ghost trail, but you guys are moving kind of skittish.
Yeah, it's choppy.
Yeah.
N-OK not good then LOL.
I found that when I was doing the gauntlet.
Yeah, you can see like a weird little
I said
fade.
it was a bit janky, but it seems
doesn't
to
affect gameplay that much, but it is pretty noticeable.
It's noticeable in the lighter areas for sure. Like when I can see Lincoln move, like if you move to your right. Yeah, it's just, it kind of fades a little bit. And the shadow on the floor doesn't really match the body either.
Maud looks like he's got no arm, no right arm. Sorry, no left arm. Now he does.
Yeah, so does Lincoln though. If you look at Lincoln's arm, he looks a bit janked up as well. Like his arm's inside of his body. Look at that, look at that.
Going,
Look,
I can't even
it's my
do
strong
that.
hand!
He looks like he's striking like a pose at the end of like a...
Well, you mentioned something about my arms being in a funny position, so I was just trying to...
Oh, didn't you see the other team? They were dancing a little while ago. They were literally going like that.
Alright. I hated to leave them because they were polite. Well, I'm going to get ready to end this stream. And my impressions of this game so far is I'm not a fan of having to press buttons to interact with everything. You know, whatever it is you want to use, a gun, a grenade, or open a door, whatever it is, you have to walk up to that icon, reach for it, and then squeeze the trigger for it in order for you to use said item or open a door, whatever the case may be. I feel like they simplified. I feel like they played it too safe, and they simplified this game for people who are not used to first-person shooters, especially with these type of controllers with the 6 degrees of freedom. I feel like if they were going to make the game like this, they should have found a way to make the aim controller on the original PSVR work on this game, because this is basically what it is. Yeah, that's, I guess, like, I'm going to play this game a little bit more and try to give it a fair chance. But my first impressions of this game is I think they played it too safe. I think the mechanics of this game is not near as interactive as, say, like a Pavlov or something like that. And honestly speaking, I wondered, like, when this game comes, this game comes out today. Everybody who's got a PSVR that likes first-person shooters is going to come check this game out. My question is how much staying power would this game have? Once everybody's, gotten warmed up to playing this game, will they like it, or will they go back to Pavlov? Because, before this game came out, in my opinion, Pavlov was really the only pure first-person shooter on PSVR 2. There's other games that have shooting elements in it, like Hubris, or Resident Evil, but I consider Pavlov is definitely, like, I feel like it's the only game in my library on PSVR 2 that is a pure first-person shooter. I think this game, it will be interesting to see where this game is at. Because over the next year, there is going to be a ton of first-person shooters on PSVR 2. A lot of these games are already on PC. And I can tell you, like, I think the two games that's coming to PSVR 2 that are going to find massive success is Breachers. Because I believe Breachers is the one game that's the closest thing to Rainbow Six. I've never played a first-person shooter game in VR that comes as close to being Rainbow Six as Breachers. It is a tremendous game. Ghost of the Boar, I have the game, but I haven't really dug into it too much. Like, all I've really done is going outside of my bunker a couple of times and try to go on a couple of missions, and I ended up engaging against AI. And then let me, once again, the headset is so tight on my damn head that it's giving me a headache. So I gotta loosen that up a little bit. But Ghost of the Boar is basically Escape from Tarkov in VR, and they're constantly adding and improving to the game, adding mechanics, adding features. Then we got Crossfire, Sierra Squad next week, or whenever it is. Then I forgot that other game that's supposed to be coming. Then we got an Arizona Sunshine, the new Arizona Sunshine game coming at some point. Just a zombie shooter. And I think this game, I think the hardcore Firewall people who love the original will probably stick with this game, but I think in order to attract anybody outside of that community, that audience, I think this game needed to be as interactive and innovative as possible. And there's some innovative, there's a couple of innovative gadgets on this game, but yeah, I would, I'm not going to say that I'm put off by, the button interactions, by having to press buttons to interact with everything. I'm not going to say that I'm not a fan of it, but what I will say is that I prefer the interactions to games like Pavlov. In terms of the interaction, I think if this game was just as interactive as Pavlov, I think it would be a situation where people would easily flip-flop back and forth between both games because, you know, that these games are, you know, the different pace. Pavlov is fast-paced. This is a little more slow. So, yeah, my take on it is it's a decent game. But I prefer the interaction of Pavlov. So there you have it. If the PSVR police are upset by this, sorry. I mean, we are at a point, in my opinion, we are at a point in VR that I should be able to give my opinion and not have this vibe as if I'm going out of my way to trash the headset. I'm not. So, I would be curious to see what other VR creators think of this game as well as my VR constituents. And I'm speaking of YouTubers that I'm friends with. I'd be curious to see what they think of this game as well. So, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to get in contact with Ham, and our plan was to go live. I may or may not do it because I'm feeling a little sick right now. I don't know why. You know, maybe it's possible because I didn't eat something for lunch. I don't know, but I did feel a little sick moving around that moving around the shooting gallery or whatever. So, all right, folks. We'll see you in a little while. Thank you so much. If you like what you saw, then I highly recommend you pick up the game. With that, we'll see you on the next one. Until then, you all know the line. And cross my hands like this. Wakanda forever. Long live the king. And deuces.